Hey, you guys. Hey, we're ready to read chapter 3 here. And I was going to try to do a reading like on one of our excursions because we went and did a Vatican tour. Yeah, that would have been a joke trying to read there because there was no way. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of people, and this is in the off season, September. I can't even imagine in June, July, or August what it would have been like. And yeah, there would have been no way. Anyway, so we're back here at our cozy little Airbnb. So anyway, hope you enjoy chapter 3. So here we go. Gazing up at Maximus, Andromeda swallowed against the emotion in her throat and let her eyes travel over his face. She had never seen anything more beautiful than Maximus Messala. He was battle-hardened and raw, but he was also kind and gentle, and she loved him with every fiber of her being. She had from the moment she first seen him. The day she'd returned from the market with fruit for her mistress and encountered Maximus standing in a peristyle speaking with her master was the day everything changed. He had looked at her, not leeringly like some men, nor did he look through her, but he actually looked at her. He had not spoken to her, and his attention did not stray away from his conversation with her master, yet she knew he was aware of her, and she was of him. She also knew that was as far as the situation could possibly go, so after bowing to her master, she turned and headed to the kitchen. Andromeda had never expected to see Maximus again after that day, but he returned frequently, always making a point to say hello to her. Somehow it seemed that she saw him everywhere. Her face warmed each time, as well as her heart. She had wondered how a simple hello could affect her so. She'd heard the other household slaves talking among themselves about Maximus and his victories at the games. She also heard the whispered comments about his manliness, some of them so lewd and suggestive they made her feel dirty. When those whispers started, she never lingered. She did not want to hear the sordid dreams and wishful lust of others, not about Maximus or anyone, but especially not about Maximus. The innocent greetings between Andromeda and Maximus continued, and finally he'd approached her one evening, and they had a true conversation for the first time. From then on, she began to experience a beautiful agony because deep in her heart she knew her love for Maximus was for naught. So after being granted her freedom, with an aching heart, she'd left, having made arrangements to stay with the family of another servant in the household. Mary and Aaron were Christians, and two of the kindest people Andromeda had ever met. They made her feel welcome, and it was a joy helping the ailing Mary care for her young children while Aaron worked. The couple had begun to share the Messiah's teaching with Andromeda, and she knew she needed to hear the rabbi speak. One afternoon, she set out for the place Aaron told her Jesus and his disciples were gathered. It was a beautiful day, and she was enjoying the walk. If only she had known about the Roman soldiers. The three drunken men had surrounded her, and after taunting her, one of them brutally took from her that which was most precious. They left her huddled beside the rocks, beaten, defiled, and emotionally scarred beyond repair. She had never felt so dirty and worthless in her life. Unable to move or even stand, she just sat there, rocking back and forth, too traumatized to even call out to anyone. No one would hear her anyway. Hunched over, she curled into herself and cried. She felt so lost. That was where the Lord found her. Somehow he had known what was done to her. He saw the pain she carried inside. She saw the truth of it in his sorrow-filled expression. She wanted to flee before him because she felt soiled, stained, and broken. Then Andromeda heard him speak her name. She raised her eyes to his, and with one gentle touch, he completely healed her, both inside and out, taking both the pain and the stain away. Never before had she felt so whole. The next day she was baptized and her life began anew. She never looked back. until this moment. There was a reason for that. Andromeda knew that in order to truly share the gospel of Christ with Maximus, she must tell him what happened. She had to tell him everything. She only prayed that she would not be the cause of him breaking his vow. "I will never kill again," he had told her one evening as they sat in a garden. "There has been enough bloodshed by my hand, and I vowed to shed no more." "Oh, God in heaven," she silently pleaded, "please help him to be strong." Drawing her thoughts to the present, Andromeda let her eyes move over the sea. It had been there that Jesus had calmed the stormy winds and waves in response to the pleas of his frightened apostle. It was also in Galilee that many miracles were performed. Turning back to Maximus, she reached up and cupped a hand to his whiskery cheek, seeing the pleasant surprise in his eyes. "I will tell you everything, Maximus. It is time." So that one was a shorter chapter. I can't remember how long the next one is, but anyway, hope you enjoyed that. And sorry it wasn't at, one of the awesome places I wanted to read, but yeah, there was no way you wouldn't have been able to hear me anyway. And it was just, even though the tour of the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and St. Peter's Square was awesome, it was just a total madhouse. But I am glad I got to experience it, and Rome has just been pretty awesome. Anyway, so I will return later with chapter 4. Anyway.